What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Run It Up. Today, very special show for you guys today. I was just hanging out playing 2 tables of tournament poker here on Ultimate Poker, and wasn't playing for Run It Up money, just playing on my own because it's Sunday, nothing else to do, so played some online poker, and managed to do decently well so far in 2 of them, so I thought I'd record these sessions and show you guys. A lot of you guys have asked me to make tournament content for this season, and it's hard because I don't want to do like a 6-episode arc because now we're doing 30 minutes, so I wanted to do tournament stuff, but I didn't really want to record like a full Run It Up session. So both of these tournaments are purely on my money. So all those times in the past where we talked about, oh, if it was my money, then I would do this. Well, that's not going to happen here because these are both 100% sweet JCarver money. So let's talk about both of these tournaments. So on the right, this is a $25 buy-in tournament that had 42 players. Been playing for an hour and change. An hour and change over there. 18 players remaining. So this is the final 2 tables, and we're in third with 18 left. On the table on the left, this is a $25 rebuy PLO tournament. I might be in for 7 bullets. I'm not sure. I am certainly in for a bunch, though. So in this tournament, there are 5 spots that pay and 9 players remaining, and we are in the chip lead by a lot. Average stack right now is 20K, and we have 60, so that's a lot of chips. I won a very big hand with King Jack 10 8 double suited against Ace 3 8 and some low rundown, and from there it's just been smooth sailing once that got me to 30K. So in this hand on the left, and we'll talk more about like what my strategies are at both of these tables, what I've been doing and what I've been trying, stuff like that. This table on the left, I raised under the gun +1 and got called by just the big blind. Checked back on this flop here and decided to bet on the turn. I feel like when he checks to us twice, sometimes he folds better hands than a 7, but I don't think that's too often, but more likely than not, if we just protect our hand against all the random nonsense that he can have, in PLO, we want to protect our hand, force him to make equity mistakes if he could see our cards face up. We're trying to induce a fundamental theorem of poker mistakes. How much fun does that sound? That's a party right there if I've ever heard one. Over here on the right table, we have Jack 7 suited. This seems like a spot that I will really want to get engaged. I think I'll at least call. I don't know I don't know this opponent, so I can't really say, like, this could be a raise instead of a call. I don't mind making it like 7-20 here and making him think we have hands that are a little bit stronger than Jack 7 suited. So might do that. We'll see if it folds through. I guess we'll talk more about the PLO table for now while this table is taking forever because of the disconnect. I don't have a ton of PLO tournament experience. I only really get to play a few of them a year, like, 2 of the World Series, 3 of the World Series. So I don't have a ton of experience, but I feel like I've been playing a lot of PLO lately, and so I'm interested to see how some of my recent PLO learnings can be applied to this tournament situation. And we'll have to see if we can get some pretty cagings in here. So there actually is one player who's at both tables, so I assume he'll be sitting out now as well because he was over there and is now disconnected, I would imagine. Is there anybody else at both tables? You can only tell with by the avatars, right? I think he's the only one. I'm sure you guys will know better than me. Reading is hard though, right? So I'm interested to see how a couple different things work in this PLO final table. We're going to talk about, I'm going to try to explain to the best of my ability every decision I have in PLO, but I am pretty new to PLO, so I may misspeak or maybe not completely and fluently express myself to you as I would like. So if there's something that you're not quite sure of, you can always post about it on the Facebook thread that I post the video on, or over on the actual forum thread on runitup.com. There are posts for every single episode, so you can hop on there and be like, yo, JCarves, what up? Don't know what you're talking about in that PLO tournament vid. I almost wrote it for you. Who even needs to do anything? That's great service here, right? So on the right table, this was that tiny raise pre-flop thing we did and got called twice. I feel like we could very easily have the best hand now, but I'm really not sure. And I'm kind of don't want to be in a spot where I'm betting and he shoves. I don't really know what to do. So I'm going to just check back with the intention of calling on a lot of dry rivers. This is a beyond dry river, as this is a river that lets us beat hands like pocket eights, pocket nines, but I don't think raising makes any sense because he's not going to fold hands like a 10 or a straight or a flush or a full house, right? None of that's happening. So I think just calling is the right play. All right, we did have the best hand and we had the right plan as well. On the left table here, this player raised and I just called in the big blind. This seems like a spot that we are not going to be able to fold to. Our hand looks like it could just be a single jack, 7, 5, 6, could be 7, 8, 9, jack 10, 9. Our hand could be any number of hands that are not nearly as good as kings. He could just bet here twice with any number of those hands like we just said. He could have just pocket queens, obviously. We have an ace blocker, so it's hard for him to have aces. I don't think he would tank this long with jacks or sevens or quads, but I guess that's possible. Can't rule it out, but I think it's unlikely. At this point, now that he's taken so long, it's definitely possible that he's just unfamiliar with PLO and isn't sure what to do. So on the 10 river, he could have 8-9, right? 8-9 and pocket 10s are the only hands that beat us now that we weren't beating on the turn. I think I kind of like betting here, though. I feel like he won't raise this too often. Even if he does have a straight, he probably won't raise this too often. He could have a hand like jacks and sevens or quads and have checked back on turn, and now be looking to get value on the river, which would not be a bad play, because he would have got this out of us with some other hands that were bluffing. If we just had like 5, 6, 7 ourselves, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9. All those hands would play similarly, and then maybe try to bluff. Although obviously 8, 9 will have gotten here. But I feel like we're value betting pretty strongly right now. I feel pretty confident that we have the best hand right now. I'd be pretty surprised if he had just like a single 4 and checked it back and then took this long. So, all right, feel good about that hand. I think that made a lot of sense. Good start. Good sensible pot raking in start. I did want to just do when I had intended to do tournament videos, I was like, yeah, I'll just play one tournament and it'll be no limit and whatever. I didn't intend to do 2 tournaments like this, especially not to do 1 PLO, 1 no limit. So I'm going to try my best to be as clear spoken as possible. We'll keep the nonsense to there's a mandatory minimum, but we'll try to keep it to that mandatory minimum and go from there. And hopefully we'll just win 2 tournaments. How fun would that be? Over here on the left table, looks like we're going to be, looks like we're probably going to be folding here. I would guess that we might be making a mistake against his hand equity-wise sometimes for sure, but our hand is so bad. The 3 is a banana, the king is a banana. There are really no good turn cards for us because 6, 7 makes a straight on a 9 turn. So I feel like we were taking a stab. It was like we're asking a question, be like, "Do you have nothing?" And if his answer was no, then we deserve the pot because we have something. And instead, his answer was maybe, and that was good enough to rue the day, make us rue the day that we bet. It was up to rule the day, that's for sure. Anyway, Jack set the 10 Jack 4 6 double suited here on the button. I feel like facing a pot size raise from a short stack, I don't think this is going to be a profitable spot to call. Don't really want to re-raise. These hands are like if you're an amateur PLO player, when you have two hands, when you have a PLO hand that looks like it's 2 pieces of 2 nice hold'em hands, that doesn't necessarily make for a good PLO hand. You really want a hand that kind of synergizes together to some degree. Now I play a lot of hands in both hold'em and PLO, so there are still many hands that would qualify as pretty and playable. That some may not, but it looks like we have an all-in here. Luck is Real is going to need a queen, an 8, or a 4. Otherwise, Dudis DB is going to win this with his ace. Yep, see you later, Luck is Real. 8 players remaining. Exciting times. 8 players remaining. We are still the chip leader by a lot. I'm not really a professional measurer, but it's a lot. That's the measurement between us and second place. Yes. Ace 8, 6, 6 here in the hijack. We'll be opening this for sure. And my plan is to be opening pretty widely, as you should do when you have a chip lead as big as this one. This is a Warhammer is what I'm holding right here. and Josh Barnett style, the War Master with the Warhammer right here. That's it. So I feel like we could re-raise, but that seems a little silly. I don't mind calling, though. We have a suited ace. We have some connectivity. We have a small pair. It seems like it's a fine spot to call. I'm not sure. I feel like there might be a PLO tournament strategy theory that would be like, you should make it 4,200 here because he's just going to call with a lot of his hands, and he'll make some mistakes post-flop, but I just prefer to flop open-ended straight flush draws. So that's what I do. And a set draw. And a nut flush draw. I mean, obviously we could just be drawing dead to, pocket sevens or something, but let's not be so negative here. All right? Let's focus on the positive. I don't think we should raise, though, because I feel like if we raise, we're not necessarily going to accomplish anything. Like when we raise, what happens? He folds hands that we're destroying and calls with hands that are pretty good. And so I think I'd rather play it this way. If Mr. Sillyhead ships it in our face, yeah, that would be uncomfortable and unpleasant, but I wouldn't be able to fold. Ace turn card is annoying, but relatively irrelevant. Him not potting is good news, I guess. Although if he had aces full, he could definitely afford to check here, given his stack to pot ratio. I think we're gonna just check back. Let's see if we can just get there. Oh yeah, did we get there? Big time get there, boys. All right. Well, spoiler alert, I'm going to be betting because I have 5 cards in a row that are the same color and the same shape. Wowie zowie. All right, 74. That seems like a lot. 68.50. How does 68.50 sound to you, Fluffy Bunny? Cat Avatar, my nemesis. Making straight flushes against a nemesis avatar. Oh, okay. I call you all in. You have quads? Oh, just a full house, though. No big deal. No big deal. Welcome to my life, everybody. If you ever want to know what it was like to be Jason Somerville, you've just got a glimpse as to what that is right there. Jeez. The tournament is on a break. The tournament is on a break because the computers are like, we can't take this. What has gone on here? Full straight flush against full house? Not quite bad beat jackpot worthy, but I thought for a second he might have the quadders, and didn't. Anyway, let's play some no-limit tournaments while the other tournament is on break here. Unfortunately, these breaks are not synergized, so we're just going to have to wing it one at a time. 7 players remaining on the left, though. So the average stack is 26,000, and there are 7 players. So there's like 175k chips in play, and we have about half of them. A little more than half of them. No big deal. I'd love to win a PLO tournament. Have I ever in my life won a PLO tournament before? I'm not sure. You're about to see maybe it happened, though, and then you'll be witness to it. And then when people ask 30 years from now, hey, did that guy that made YouTube videos and shook his hands a lot, did he ever win a PLO tournament? And you'll be able to go, that's right, he did. I saw it myself. He made a straight flush. That's right. You tell him. Over here on the right table, finally we have a playable hand in this silly 2-card game. I don't know what to make of this. I've been playing with this guy for a decent amount of time, and he doesn't seem like the most high-level opponent, so it could definitely be one of those tricky. I've got aces, I've got kings. It could be that he has just 2 cards that he likes to play. It could just be the Jack 4 suited. Can't say that's not true, but I decided to limp. I actually think I should have made it 880 here or something like that, because actually, I think I should have made a very small raise here. Drive out the small blind, drive out the big blind. We find out some information from under the gun anyway, and we win the pot far more often. Plus, we have a bigger chance of winning just, the blinds and antes actually right then and there, of course, if we raise. So I think I actually messed this hand up a little bit, but I guess I did lose the minimum because that flop is not the best one for us. That's right. Breaking news here from Run It Up headquarters. When you have 2 spades in your hand, 3 diamonds is not a good flop. Queen 10 looks like we're going to be back on the warpath here, though. We're still in second place, 2 I roll tied, so it is 1 and 2. Average stack in this tournament is 8,000, so we have about double stack in this tournament, which is kind of nice. Over triple stack in the left, double on the right. We've got all the chips in the world over here. Okay, so I think I like min raising here, although I actually don't mind limping as well. That's something that I've been experimenting with, having seen it to work to a rather like amazing effect during the World Series. I saw several people who I really respect break out the old limp and the button and the cutoff, and I was very impressed by it. People do all sorts of things. They freak out. They have to play hands like Queen 4 offsuit in the blinds. And they don't know what to do, and it's actually kind of interesting. In this hand, though, I raised. My plan is to bet fold. I didn't want to check because I feel like if I check, there's no chance we ever win this pot. This is my one and only singular arrow to try to win the pot on the flop. I feel like if somebody just calls, we do win the pot sometimes on turn and river, because if he just flat calls, it's possible he just has like 2 9s with the 9 of diamonds. Like, it's possible we have the best hand right now. We could have even considered shoving this turn, but I didn't think that was the right play. When he makes a play like this, it's possible that he has a single king with or without a diamond. It's possible that he has a flush. Possible that he has a set, but not super likely. I think it's possible that he has like a single diamond and nothing else. But because because of the price we're getting, I don't think we can fold on the turn. Now, I don't, again, think that we're necessarily super likely to win on this river, but we do beat hands like Jack 10 with like the Jack of diamonds, 10 9 if he happens to call with hands that widely with the 9 of diamonds. I think because we were getting such a good price on the turn, we had to call. At this point, I feel like I probably believe him. It's possible that we're getting bluffed, but he also could just have king queen or a flush or something like that. I think it would be kind of an unusual set of steps to take and not to have it there. So who knows? Maybe we could have folded the turn and got away from it for another 1,200. But I think getting like 5.5 to 1 on the turn, I mean, come on, we'll win that 18 whatever percent of the time. That's like nothing, you know. Like sometimes he'll just like fall asleep at the table and muck his hand or something. Come on, 18% and we have a pair. Get out of here! Don't be such a nit. Nobody likes nit bitches. Have we been over this before? I feel like we've been over this very thoroughly before, actually. Yes, JCarver, we've been over this before. My exasperated teenager run-it-up legion out there. They grow up so fast, It's really heartbreaking. Things that don't go by very fast, though, would include this PLO break, because I feel like I've just been wanting to press the pot button for so long. There we go. Not the prettiest of hands. The old deuce banana ruining our day over there. Pretty cool. We have 87 big blinds. The rest of the table combined does not have 87 big blinds. 42. Is that wrong? It's close. It's close. It's close at least. Okay. King 9 suited on the right table. This looks like a spot we'll be attacking. If I raise, if I had got a chance to open, and definitely the 2 players with 2 and 3,000, maybe even Tachi I would have had to call if I opened. I don't think there's a bounty on me in this tournament. Actually, there might be, now that I think about it. Which I guess does impact my play a little bit now that I think about it. Because I'm actually pretty sure there is a bounty on me in this tournament. So that does impact, like, slightly how I want to get it in. But I don't really care about that. If people want to win my bounty and just go hunting for it, good luck to ya. It's fine by me. Looks like it would have flopped a decent hand here with the king 10-8 deuce on the left table. I don't think it was a raised pot because there's only a 3K in there. So interesting that this player has already begun a limping strategy. We'll be incorporating a limping strategy to some degree, but not until people really start giving us reasons to do so. And when I say things like that, I think I know what I mean. But what I mean is, like, I think that if it's better to be min raising in any games that have blinds and antes, and I'm pretty sure that includes all poker games, if your opponents are folding too often. So to punish your opponents for making folding mistakes, you should raise, right? If your opponents are folding a lot, then you should raise to exploit them, right? If your opponents are calling a lot and calling correctly, then you think about, okay, well, what are the alternatives that may or may not be more profitable in the long run? And then I think you can go into that and think about, well, what about limping? And then you go into that whole dynamic. But I think people have to prove themselves worthy of all that thought, energy, investment. For the default, I think breaking out the old min raise whip is the way to go. It's very close to just saying the min ways rip, but thankfully didn't say it the first time, so then could make the joke without embarrassing myself. Small victories. Very pretty hand here in the big blind. We could actually re-raise. His hand's actually probably good enough to do that, and maybe there's a chance he folds. Actually, I'm okay with that. Let's do that. Our hand's pretty good. We have a suited ace, ace king 10, pretty powerful. 8's also pretty connected in there. If he wants to call, that's great with me. Fine, let's run the cards. If he just folds, might buy us some more respect. People will open on our big blind a little bit tighter because we're obviously the most able to put pressure on. And worst case scenario, he sticks around and our hand is not bad. Unless he has aces, and if he has aces, our hand is still like 30% or whatever it is pre-flop. So, whatever. Run the gods. Win the pot in the right table as well. This was a limped pot. Tachi limped and checked around flop. Took a little stab on the turn, got the job done. I'm going to raise here. This hand is pretty bad. Obviously, pocket threes are pretty bad in PLO, pretty unconnected. The 9 and the 3 is like Alaska and Russia, basically. Close, but not quite. And, okay, that worked out all right. So I don't really want to limp, and just because when you limp, he can't fold, right? He has no choice to just say, you got it. So I think I'd like to give him the option to just say, you got it, when we have a hand as poor as the one that we had. Let's just vacuum up all of the chips. Let's just vacuum up all of the chips. Let's just put them all in like a treasure chest for chips. Chips and gold chocolate coins. Delicious gold chocolate coins, I'll point out. Look at that over there. Like, for example, this is another great example of why we should raise sometimes blind versus blind, because some people just fold. They don't appreciate the value of a big blind these days, you know? These youngsters on the internet don't appreciate the value of a big blind. And sometimes they don't defend their blind widely enough. And so if you can make it 880, and even though they're getting a price that's something like $1 billion to 1, they still fold. If they're happy to fold, then, you know, it's your responsibility to break out the rake. That's right. The claw. Sometimes it has to be expanded to a rake if you're really doing well, you know. Rake status versus claw status. It's very high level stuff here. I could think about defending, calling, raising, stuff like that. It seems like it could be a thing, but I guess folding is fine. I just met this gentleman yesterday at Green Brewfest. Brewfest was yesterday. I was like, Green Valley Ranch? Nope, that was last week. At the Brewfest festival uptown in downtown in, I don't actually know where it's actually theoretically held, but someplace downtown. Glad we folded the Jack 9. Ooh. So you're saying there's a chance. More than a chance. See you later, pocket aces. See you later. 15 players remain. 15 players remain in the tournament on the right. We are still in third. I guess we'll be in third on that table. Looks like there's going to be an all-in on the left. I'm rooting for a bust out. Okay, pretty good flop for the ace-king. Gonna need to dodge a 10-4 or an 8. 8 on the turn. Ace-kings I need to improve. 7! Kings and 7s takes it down for Mr. Sillyhead. That's right. It's destroyed by Mr. Sillyhead. How'd you guys like the destroyed thing? Like my shirt, by the way? That's right. I got it for free. That's great. That's value right there. This people ask, like, you know, oh, what are the perks of being famous? And then I laugh because, you know, I never leave my apartment, so I don't even, that's, you know, how can you be famous? I'm really famous, like, in my tower. And then sometimes, every once in a while, though, you get big perks like free t-shirts, and it's just like, ain't no thing, really, you know? That's right. Maybe we'll be able to add to our fame and legacy by winning this PLO and No Limit tournament. That would be nice. I think we are down to 6 players on the left table. That looks right to me. 5 places pay. So even though it's a $25 buy-in event, because it's a rebuy event, 5th place is $200. So I think that people will really want to not bust 6th, so that's going to encourage me to put some pressure on folks. We'll have to see though if we have opportunities to do it. So I think like here could be a spot to raise, but I think this hand is just so bad, and the hands he goes to war with are like aces and kings and like good queens and stuff like that, and I don't really want to get it in for 20k with a hand like this. Interesting flop. Could start actually with a lead. I think that would be arguable as a thing that could be potentially viable, but checking, I think, is obviously the thing that we do first here. If it goes check and the turn doesn't pair, I think we're going to bet. If he bets flop, I think we're going to just call. If he pots flop, I think we're going to just call. If he bets small on flop, I think we're going to just call. I think those are all of our options. He bets right in the middle, so my plan is to just call, as we've been over. I don't think raising is good here. He probably only continues with like flushes, and he'll call with like top set and like, you know, those sort of hands. Clubs are good cards for us, you know. Clubs are good cards for us here. It makes it a little bit less likely that he has a flush himself. If he bets here again, I will be worried if he bets here twice, but not sure what we're going to do. So we could call and check because, let's face it, there is no chance that this guy is going to just bet, shove here with a hand that isn't better than ours. So I think that is the play. So I feel like at this point, if he has a set or a straight or anything that isn't better than us, he's going to just check back. There's no reason to expect us to fold, I don't think. I think that would be a pretty high-level bluff if he was like, yep, this guy must have a low flush, I'm all in. He could just have like the king X of, you know, whatever. Boom. Bit of a faint bell, but I'm just holding it back. I'm just getting it ready. It's getting just warmed up, you know. It's out in the distance from we're aiming for the long shot. So unfortunately, I can't go and see what he had, but I'm very happy with how he played the hand because I'm glad we didn't fold on the turn. Nice non-fold there. And we broke the 6-figure mark, which is pretty sweet. So like we said, average stack right now is 30K. Average stack right now is 30K, and that's pretty good for us. So 180K in play. It looks like that's the exact number. 180 and some small chips, and we have a lot of those. Going to raise it up on this right table, especially now that we've seen him fold to a blind versus blind raise. We're going to continue to do it until he changes his behavior, basically. For the time being, we'll just keep on raising. Going to also raise in the left table as well, trying to win the blinds and antes. Interesting flop on the right table. If he has a hand that has no pair, like a jack-6, he's probably going to just fold. Okay, there you go. He must have had the jack-6 then. On the left table, looks like that worked for us as well. This is actually a pretty strong dynamic. For us to have all the chips six-handed, I don't think that we're going to fold any hand that is folded to us. Like, we're going to just be the bulldozer that our parents always wanted us to be. We're going to make John Deere proud, and we're just going to bulldoze. Okay? That's what we're going to do right here and now. You're going to watch it. PLO bulldozing happening as we speak, hopefully. At least while the bubble persists, and then we can maybe tweak from there. Going to bet a third of the pot here. I don't think that betting any bigger will get him to fold any extra hands, but I'd like him to fold hands that are like, 10-10, Jack 6, 6 won't fold, 10-10, Jack 7, though would, stuff like that. Don't think betting twice here is going to be particularly viable. King on the river, we actually might win this sometimes through miracles of science and or luck. Kings and sixes. All right. I didn't like our chances there, but I was hoping that optimism might prevail. Going to be raising this hand if it's folded to us as well. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be a hand that we're going to fold if it's folded to us, except for maybe like a couple hands under the gun. But nobody's really been attacking us with re-raises, so until that starts happening, I think we're just going to put our foot on the gas. On the right table, I think I checked back on the flop. Once again, we actually win sometimes here as well, but that's pretty rare. Sad to see he has no pair, because obviously we could have got that hand to fold. I wish our hand was a little bit worse. I could have considered bluffing that, but I didn't think he was that weak. Over here on the left table, blinds are now 6-12, so I have to bet, I guess, this much. I wanted to bet, I was like, how much? Why am I betting so much? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, I have trips. How about you? Just a king? I can beat that. All right. Kings and tens, no good, I'm afraid. Well, the vacuum cleaner rolls on. That's right. Rolls on? Roars on? Regardless, on it goes. 5 players remain. So now that we're in the money, we're going to have to be a little bit more sane with what we're doing, but I just mean like a very little bit more sane with what we're doing. So I think we can still start out here with the min raise. This hand is perfectly okay. It's very mediocre. It's fine. Nothing to write home about. We did flop the key card. We'll turn lots of cool things that are attached to this, I guess, if we're allowed to see the turn card here. I think I'm going to start with the bet because I would really like to get the pot heads up, and I'd really like to get the pot heads up against this guy, because there's less chance that this guy has a hand that's like super good, because he would have just shoved pre. And I feel like Dudas might have something that can just fold here too, kind of often. If he just calls, we can turn a variety of things that are connected: sixes, sevens, eights, nines, tens, jacks. You know, I'll just keep going, even though I know we're folding. You know, it could have happened. Didn't, but could have happened. Maybe that was a little bit on the ambitious side, but you know, whenever has there been a time not to be ambitious, if not this one? You know, pretty terrible hand here. Probably not going to defend with it. This is a pretty ass tier hand if you're into, you know, geology and tiers of things. This would be considered, if poker hands were layers, this would be considered ass tier. Yes, that's the scientific term for that. Aces, there we go. All right, well, my plan is to put money in the pot and then hopefully take more money out. So we've been raising small against this guy since the beginning, and I don't see a reason not to continue that trend here. If he picks up a hand that he wants to go with, he's seen us raise enough times that I don't think he'll have any reason to dissuade himself. I suppose not the greatest flop, but certainly one that we're going to bet and give him an option to say, would you like to go all in? If so, okay. If not, I'll have the money that's in there. Those are the options, slutty nurse. What'll it be? Oh, JCarver, I don't know. My boobs are just so big. Listen. When slutty nurses make PLO final tables, you just have to enjoy it. You just have to enjoy it while it's there. This is a perfectly fine hand to go to war with. We, I guess, did run into the worst case scenario for us, but still not bad. Could turn a 6 or a 10 or some other things. Ooh, or a little heart ball. That would also work for us. 10 ball. That's how we do it, boys. Oh, we'll just river one of the gut shots. Why not? Let's just do it. Well, the John Deere bulldozer continues. Looks like... I actually am not sure if this hand doesn't open under the gun. This player is obviously short stacked. They've been folding a bunch, but I think Dudas is the second best player, so him being in the big line makes me be like, I don't really want to get too involved with this hand, and pretty happy about that at this point because I don't like our chances. All right, looks like aces and tens in the lead right now. Aces and tens going to take it down. Do we get to call this? So he's all in there. There's 11 players left in this tournament. 6 pay over here. She's all in. Is this hand good enough to shove? I think this hand is good enough to shove. This might be the worst suited ace that I reshove, but I think this hand is powerful enough to reshove here profitably. Got her money in good. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna raise it up here on the left table. That's a good turn card for us. He's dead to a king. Yeah, I'm going to just raise it up here when he limps blind versus blind. No reason not to. This is actually also good for us that all these three players are all even. It'll give us equal opportunities to hammer everybody. The devilish PLO hand over here. We actually get to call if this is limped to us. Don't too often get to see flops in spots like this. This is actually very similar to the last spot that we were just in with the ace-8 suited. And we could call, I guess, if we wanted to, but I think stacks now are... I don't know. This is very close. If we had ace-8 suited, again, I would shove. So consistency there. I think ace-6 suited is just like slightly not bad enough. He's shoving for more than the last guy did. There are 10 players left, so we're on the final table bubble, which doesn't really mean a lot. We're actually in second place right now, which is kind of crazy to believe. All right, this looks like another excellent fold here. Unreal. Making some prescient folds here. So we can actually consider... Ooh. Oh, no. Let's see a 4. Not that I'm anti-sweating this fella, but, you know, let's see an 8. Well, I guess we could have won the tournament, but that's fine. We'll win the tournament the hard way. Harder way, at least. All right, another final table. Wow. That's right. That's what I do every time I make a final table. I have a little... That's not happening. Not true at all. That would be something if it was true, though. On the left table, I've opened under the gun, got called by two people. I actually think that this is just not enough of a connection to bet here. I think it's too likely that one of these two players will connect given how vacant our cards are in comparison. If he checks to us again here, we're going to try to bet, but I feel like we're pretty disconnected from these cards. Like, when you have the King, Queen, 10, 3, 3 diamonds, and the board is Ace, 7, 3, 3 hearts, and there are 8 cards out, like a quarter of the deck is out against you, the odds are one of the two of them has some piece of it, so I decided that time not to. And we did turn 2 pair, so obviously, like, we could have continued, but I didn't like our chances there. I love our chances with this hand, though. Very pretty double-suited hand. I'm going to pot it up, even if it does go limp to us. If it goes limp raise, I'm still going to pot it up, I think. Although, if he raises here, he might be a very aces heavy. Anyway, I'm going to raise because I think our hand is just going to make more money than theirs are. Let's play for more, boys. It's an excellent flop here. I think we can get away with betting something like 44, 4,200, and obviously I'm planning on not folding if he shoves. I think calling, if he calls, it's the weirdest thing, but I think we just are all in on every turn card. The worst turn card is like, what, the King of Spades? Maybe we check fold on like the King of Spades or like the Ace of Spades, something like that, but don't think that's happening too often. Gonna continue with the old min-raise train, blind versus blind. Doesn't look like it's worked. It doesn't look like it's failed so far. It always hits its stop, you know? That's a good sign of a train, when the train always is on time and always just gets it done. It's excellent train. It's the quarter German part in me. You know, it's the high quality German engineering. That's right. So I believe that the train of this video has reached just about its arrival point. So I feel like I was gonna play it out until this PLO final table was over, but that looks like it's not really immediately gonna happen. So I think what I'm gonna do is we'll play these 2 hands out. I'll call it a day, and tomorrow you guys get to find out if we were a hero or a zero. I guess so. We'll call on this right table. I'm a little afraid of what's going on here. This guy raised for a lot. He's the chip leader. Haven't seen him do anything really so far as like I have no information whatsoever about him. Over on the left table here, I actually think I'm going to bet twice because I think that our hand is so bad. If he check raises all in here, he probably just has us crushed, and he still might fold hands like pocket 10s, pocket jacks, a 5, like a 4, 5, 6 kind of a hand, something like that. And if we get check raised all in, we're making such a little mistake, most likely, because we are probably just destroyed because all we have is a gut shot. So it seemed like a good spot to bet twice for me. To me, I think he still folds enough hands, given that we're risking like under half the pot. I feel like we'll show a profit there in the long run, although we didn't that time. So maybe I'm wrong about that. This is a tough decision here on this right table. So he opened to what did he open to pre? What are the blinds? 3. So he opened to 1800 pre. I guess we're all in here with queens. Okay. I think we just have to fold. You know, I just don't know enough about this guy to feel comfortable calling all in there with kings. Wow, this is a great spot for us with the queen in his hand. He's going to need a 10 or some clubs. 10, a club, or an 8 for him now. Good turn card for him. He did it. He did it. To be fair, I don't think anybody has won one of those against me since I started playing. So there's that. Anyway, so sorry. I think I might have lost my train of thought on that hand, but I just felt like against a guy we don't know at all, have seen zero of, I feel like I don't want to risk our tournament life there when I feel like there will be so many better spots for us to attack on with this at this final table. So that was why I folded on the turn. I guess we'll play this hand out on the left, and then we'll call it a day. Don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, please let me know about it. Like the video below. Shoot me a tweet and be like, JCarver, love the tournament videos. Would love to see some more tournament videos or anything else you guys want to see. I really do appreciate the feedback, and I do listen to it. I read every bit of it, so thanks a lot for all of that. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys back for more for the thrilling conclusion of these tournament episodes right after this hand is complete, where I feel like we have to have the best hand with the straight now at this point, right? Surely. I mean, like, and he could have queen jack. That's possible, but I think we have the best hand. Okay, well, right but wrong. I'll take it. See you guys back for more tomorrow. Peace. Can't stop, won't stop. I'm not drunk, I promise you guys. That's what they all say, JCarver. Damn it. Amateur hour over here. Inevitability. Inevitability.